Hey, yeah, thanks. I'm Mokai. I want to sing a song that I wrote. I want to sing you a song that I wrote. Recently, I just released this late last year. You can find it on Bandcamp, mokai.bandcamp, Bandcamp. That's Mokai, Mokai. And it's a song called Going Back to Humboldt. And I wrote it, after living in Humboldt in the early 80s, and then I moved down to San Francisco. And I was, just thinking about the times I had up here and thinking about the people that I knew up here and thinking how things have changed with just how we're living in this country, but also the changes of the cannabis industry. So when I was living up here in the early 80s, I had a lot of friends who had kids. And as you can imagine, those kids grew up, and I got to see some of that process. And so one of the inspirations for this song is our good friend, Sunshine Saraseta. And when I was a Earth First activist and living off of borrowed granola, her mom, Agnes, who you all know from her show here on KMUD, Agnes Patak, and she put me up for a while, and so I got to see Sunshine as a kid. And I got to see, all these different kids that I knew, like Sunshine, who'd leave Humboldt and they go out in the world and they'd check out different, different places around the world and try to live different lifestyles. Some of them would go to school somewhere in a different state or in a different country, and some would take off and, try to work a job in different parts of the country. And what I noticed is that a lot of these kids, they ended up coming back. So this is kind of a tale, a pre-legalization tale of people living out in the hills, and then their kids growing up, and the kids taking off and then coming back and trying to fit back in here in Humboldt. It's called Going Back to Humboldt. Going back to Humboldt, where the hills are green and gold. Going back to Humboldt, where the river runs deep and cold. Going back to Humboldt, where it's quiet at night. Going back to Humboldt, where they treat me right. I was raised up in the hills, 7 miles on an old dirt road, in a little cabin that my family built. Nothing there was up to code. My family, they were outlaws growing black market weed, living close to the land was their only creed. But I had to get away, I had to find out what the world out there was like. Learn about these people living so-called normal lives, pretending I fit in, walking on a crowded street, stepping over people living on the cold concrete. Yeah, I'm going back to Humboldt, where the hills are green and gold. I'm going back to Humboldt, where the river runs deep and cold. Going back to Humboldt, where it's quiet at night. Going back to Humboldt, where they treat me right. the river, so happy just to be alive. But even out here in the hills, you need money to survive. I got a new girlfriend, she's got a little kid. I guess I'm gonna end up doing what my family did. Yeah, I'm going back to Humboldt, where the hills are green and gold. Going back to Humboldt, where the river runs deep and cold. Going back to Humboldt, where it's quiet at night. Going back to Humboldt, where they treat me right.
Thank you.